we've upgraded. But this is actually a test run because I don't know how long all this is gonna last. But away from the ChatGPT interviews, because I just found this channel which seems fire as hell. Um, Sorry if I butchered the name. The Dispute Den is basically like AI generated characters from like different movies, comic books, and stuff like that, and shows. And they're having debates with other characters from other movies, other genres, etc., etc. But this particular video caught my attention within like the first 1 minute of Batman versus V for Vendetta debates. So we're gonna treat this like how we do with the Chat GBTs. I'm gonna put my review on it. I literally had to pause the video because I knew what they were about to what they were about to get into was something that was gonna spark that was gonna spark my brain to go off on a whole ass rant. So I thought, you know what? Let's just save this and record my actual natural reaction. Let's get into it.
Well, this is interesting. The Bat of Gotham meets the terrorist of London. I have to admit, I didn't expect you to actually show up.
Terrorist. How delightfully simple. Tell me, Batman, when you dangle a corrupt politician off a rooftop to extract information, what do you call that? Community outreach. We both use fear as a weapon.
Fair point. I suppose we both believe fear can serve justice. But I'm curious about your mask, Guy Fawkes. You could have chosen anyone from history. Why him specifically? What does he represent to you?
Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament in 1605. He failed, but the idea survived. That's what the mask represents, that ideas are bulletproof. When they tortured me in that facility, they destroyed my face, my identity, everything.
Also, quick disclaimer: I'm a huge Batman fan, comic book wise and movie wise. Batman is like my all time favorite superhero, and right next to him is Hulk and Wolverine. So, but I am also, I also have a brain, as you can see throughout this channel. I also use critical thinking skills, as you can see throughout this channel. I'm not one of those Batman heads that's like, oh, if Batman has prep time, he can beat everybody. No, that's just not the case. But I am also not gonna allow no Batman slander. So just to get that out the way.
Everything I was. But they couldn't destroy the idea that people deserve better. What about you? Why a bat?
Fear, like you said. But also because bats navigate in darkness, they see what others can't. I wanted criminals to think there was something watching them in the shadows. But tell me about that facility. What happened to you there? It clearly shaped who you became.
Medical experiments, hormone injections, psychological torture. They were trying to create the perfect citizen, compliant, unthinking. Instead, they created me, the dispute den. The irony is beautiful, really. They taught me that governments will do anything to maintain control, even destroy their own people.
And that's where I paused the video. That's where I paused the video. Like, wait, hold up. Maybe we should record this. Yes. I don't know what it is about you human beings don't understand when it comes to certain governments is that when you guys think about power, you guys always think about money. You guys always think about materialistic things. Oh, gold and silver, or the Bible, or where the fuck you want to use. Power over technology. What true power is? Obviously, there's many forms of power, but the most, I would say, the majority, or at least the most highest levels of power is literally influence, basically who you know, connections, etc., etc., and assets that you own, of course. But I don't know how it is across seas, but at least in the Western world, the power over influence is really, really important. I don't think you guys understand how far these governments will go for influence. I mean, we can look at the past wars, like, not just world wars, but we can just look at the past of like the minor battles and wars. It's really everything is not just about land, guys. Like everything is not just about, oh, we have more gold than you. Oh, we have more women than you. Oh, we have more of this. Like, no. If you have influence over people, and you don't have to, and that's how powerful you can become. You don't even have to kill a real person to influence a society. You can make up a story, and it'll be, and everybody would just believe the lie. There would be under there would be like in the palm of your hand. That's how easy it is, and that, and to make this work, that's a whole video in itself. Like, to really make this work, you really have to understand how people think, how human beings operate. Psychology has to deal with a lot of things. The healthcare system has to deal with a lot of things. The school system, like, bro, that's a whole fucking video of it in itself. But yeah, like, I don't think you guys truly understand how far governments are really to go just for influence. Like he said, a government will sacrifice its own people for power. Look what's happening nowadays. Come on, guys, you gotta be able to think. Not everything is what it seems.
Have you ever wondered if trauma makes us who we are?
Every
That's a good ass question too. It's does trauma make us who we are? That's a good ass question.
Own people. Have you ever wondered if trauma makes us who we are?
every day. My parents were killed when I was 8, gunned down in an alley after a movie. For years I thought about revenge, about finding their killer and making him pay. But Alfred, my guardian, he helped me see that revenge would just create more pain. Maybe trauma gives us a choice to become bitter or become better.
And that's a fucking bar. Maybe trauma uh gives us a choice to either become better or become bitter. And you see a lot of this when it comes to the black community. We can either allow that trauma, whatever it is, whether it's slavery or our own family personal issues, we can either allow that trauma to make us become bitter, or we can choose to use that trauma to make us better. It's not rocket science, guys.
That's a luxury only the wealthy have, isn't it?
And that's a fucking bar too. That's a luxury that the wealthy have, because like he said, Bruce faced a huge fucking traumatic thing at the age of 8. I'm pretty sure he was older than that, but at the age of 8, let's just go off of what this Batman says. At the age of 8, like, can you imagine what that does to a boy at the age of 8? Plus, he's the only child. Plus, he literally has no other family members other than Alfred, if you want to call him that, at least blood related. He's surrounded by all these riches. It's already hard enough being a billionaire and you have family members. This nigga was all alone. But it is interesting for him to say that that's a luxury, because if you really think about it, most people don't even have the luxury of fate going through a traumatic experience and they not have nobody. So, to be fair, that is a luxury. If you guys can call it bullshit if you want. Going through a traumatic experience and having somebody in your corner, that's a fucking luxury. But meanwhile, over in the Western world, we take that shit for granted. Again, another video in itself.
You had Alfred, Wayne Manor, unlimited resources to process your trauma constructively. Most people don't get therapy and training.
I'm too good with this shit, dog. Come on, bro. I'm too good with it. Come on, read the shirt. I'm too good. I'm too good with this shit, dog.
They get survival mode. When the system fails you completely, revenge starts looking a lot like justice.
When the system fails you completely, revenge starts to look like justice. That's a fucking tweet. But it's real. If you think, really think, my nigga, use your fucking brain for once. Like, there's a lot of things that y'all niggas take for fucking granted. Like, when you go on these TikToks videos and you go on these Instagram posts talking about there's no real man in the world. I'm gonna go travel. Oh, there's no real women in the world. I'm gonna go travel. Y'all don't really understand the luxury we have over here, do you? Like that whole fucking alphabet LGBT shit. That shit's not gonna. You think that shit's gonna fly in Russia? The simple fact that you have the right to even protest something like that is a fucking luxury. The simple fact that we have mosques in America, the simple fact that we have churches in America is a luxury. The simple fact that if you have enough dough, you can go and buy a fucking cookie at a gas station. That's a fucking luxury. If you want to be for real about it.
I never thought about it that way. You're right, I had
Mm.
advantages most people don't. But even with resources, it took years to find a path that felt right. How do you keep from letting the anger consume you? Because I can hear it in your voice. You're furious about what was done to you.
The anger is fuel. Without it, I'd have given up long ago. But you ask a good question: how do you channel rage constructively? For me, it's about making the anger bigger than personal revenge. It's not just about what they did to me, it's about what they do to everyone. What keeps you going on the bad nights?
And that's good too. That's good too. That's one of the easiest ways to not allow anger, revenge, vengeance, bitterness consume you, is to give yourself a bigger goal to make sure you don't have to make sure you don't cross a certain line. When it comes to characters like V, when it comes to characters like Batman, when it comes to characters like hell, Nightwing, when it comes to characters like Spider-Man, when it comes to even real life characters, when it comes to a figure like what's a good example? Hell, when it comes to characters like Prophet Muhammad, like these things just good men in general in fiction and historical events, history. When you have when something bad or something traumatic has happened to you, when you're going through something, you have to give yourself a goal. You have to give yourself, rather it's real or not, you have to give yourself a mission. Basically, I'm speaking to the men, mostly men. You have to give yourself a fucking goal, or else you're gonna fall in despair and become a school shooter. What's one of the main reasons why certain kids become school shooters? It's fucking bullying, for not having the capability to stand up for themselves. You have to give yourself that type of level of dedication, or else you're just gonna fall in despair and fall to the wayside, become a rapist or a fucking school shooter or a goddamn criminal, or wherever the case may be. And I'm pretty sure Batman. I don't want to speak for him, but I'm pretty sure Batman is gonna bring up that same shit when it comes to his parents' deaths. Batman knows if he starts killing, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be fucking like taking candy from a fucking baby. Batman could have easily killed the Joker. Batman could have easily slaughtered Two Face. Batman could have easily just wiped out the whole entire fucking streets when it comes to crime, but he decides not to. Now, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to that point because this is a 7-minute video. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to a point because just because Batman's my favorite character does not mean I agree with every single thing that he says. Because I actually have consciousness. Not unlike y'all niggas who, if you disagree with one thing, if you disagree with one particular thing a person says, all of a sudden you don't support them, or all of a sudden you're not a fan of them. Oh, he his views is all about money. I don't like him anymore. What the fuck is that? Oh, he's from a different religion. I'm not gonna be friends with him. Huh?
The belief that people are basically good. I know that sounds naive after everything we've both seen, but I think
Wait, wait, go back.
What they do to everyone. What keeps you going on the bad nights?
the belief that people are basically good.
See that I disagree with. You see? I disagree with them. He's still my favorite character though. Stop being childish, guys. But at the end of the day, dude, that's something I disagree with. This is where me and Batman have a disagreement because his idea or ideal when it comes to society in general, he comes from a very, not saying he's Christian, but he comes from a very type of Christian like belief. that everybody has good within them, regardless of how much evil you do. That's where me and Batman kind of disagree. Because I also do believe that everybody has good in them, but there are certain evil doers in the world. It's like when it comes to the question of how you stop rape, you can't. You can't. You simply can't not eliminate rape from the fucking world. Sorry to say, but you can't, because all you can do is just hope it doesn't fucking happen and prepare yourself to the point to where it doesn't happen to you. It's like saying, how can you stop people from robbing you? You can't. There's gonna be robbers. There's gonna be criminals. There's gonna be negative people. There's gonna be evil people who want to do evil things just for the simple fact that they're fucking evil. Like you ask certain criminals in jail today, like, oh, why'd you do it? Because I wanted to. Like you have people like that. People like that fucking exist. This whole idea that, oh, he's not evil. He's not evil. He's just broken. Yes, that's true when it comes to certain people. Again, you gotta take it by case basis. You gotta take it by case basis. It's not just everybody comes from a broken house. It's not that everybody who's a criminal comes from a broken household. No, some of these criminals actually come from fucking wealthy families. Like, dude, like it's just a universal fact. You have good, you have evil. Buddhist monks know this. Christians to a certain degree know this. Muslims to a certain degree knows this. But guess what? The elites know that shit too. It's just that the difference between people who are elites versus people who are non-elites, they the people who are non-elites believe that there's good and evil, and you just have to pick. The non-elites believe there's good and evil, and there's me.
I know that sounds naive after everything we've both seen, but I think
Yeah.
most corruption comes from fear or desperation, not evil.
See, that's fair. That's fair to say. Most corruption comes from fear and desperation, not evil. Fair. Fair. I do agree about corruption. But when it comes to just society in general, there's actual evil doers in the world, just for some fact that the heart is evil.
When I stop the Joker, it's not because I hate him or it's because I believe Gothel. When I stop the Joker, but I think most corruption comes from fear or desperation, not evil. When I stop the Joker, it's not because I hate him or it's because I believe Gotham deserves better. Do you still believe people are worth saving?
Some days. The people who helped me escape that facility, the ones who risk everything to resist. They remind me why this matters, but I struggle with the masses sometimes. So many people seem content to live in cages as long as they're comfortable cages. How do you motivate people who don't want?
Oh my gosh. Did that shit just go over my head? Let's replay that one more time.
I struggle with the masses sometimes. So many people seem content to live in cages as long as they're comfortable cages.
Wow. So many people are competent to live in cages as long as they're comfortable cages. That's a fucking bar too, because we can relate that to what the hell's going on right now when it comes to what's actually going on with certain events. But there's one thing I've noticed when it comes to just diving deep and using my critical thinking skills about certain topics, rather that's historical events or current events or the case may have you, fiction stories and non-fiction stories. There's one thing I've noticed when it comes to the root of it all is that there's some people who simply just don't care. There are some people who are just born to lose. There are some people that you just can't fucking save. Like, even the Bible says, even the Bible admits that you can't save everyone. You know, like heaven is really not that packed. The hell can be packed to the roots, to the roof. Like, that's one of the craziest truths when it comes to being aware of certain things that majority of people are not aware of. The sad truth of it all is that you have to admit that certain people, not everybody, not maybe not even the most, maybe not even majority of people, but there's certain people that are just born to lose. And it kind of goes back to, you can't have good without evil. You can't have evil without good. Like the same way you can't have winners without losers. If you want to win, somebody has to be a loser. That's just the sad truth. You know, nowadays, we can't even call certain people losers. Losers is like a fucking scary hate word now. It's like, I beat the boss. I'm a winner. You lost in 5 tries. You're a fucking loser. Like it's just that simple. Now, obviously, when it comes to obviously, when you reach a certain level, those losses turn to learning lessons. But when it comes to just the ground level, nigga, I won. That means I'm a winner. You're a loser. Like you know, losers and slums don't go hand in hand. Losers and people who are weak don't go hand in hand. If anything, the strongest lose a lot and they win big. If anything, how the hell are you gonna try to win something if you don't even know how to lose? How the hell are you gonna try and become a chief if you don't even know how to become a fucking servant? You gotta start somewhere.
So many people seem content to live in cages as long as they're comfortable cages. How do you motivate people who don't want to be saved?
You don't force them. You show them there's another way and let them choose. Force breeds resentment, even when your intentions are good. I learned that lesson with Robin, my young partner. I wanted to protect him so badly that I almost drove him away. Sometimes caring means stepping back.
But what about when stepping back means watching people suffer? There are children in facilities like the one that held me right now. Every day we debate philosophy is another day they're being broken. At what point does patience become abandonment?
That's the hardest question, isn't it? I've wrestled with that for years. Sometimes I think the answer is finding the right balance. Immediate action where you can make a difference, long-term change where you can't. Maybe revolution and reform aren't opposites, but different tools for different situations.
Constant self.
It's, that's the hardest part. Like they're literally talking themselves into a fucking wall. It's like, yeah, we do this, but we run. Yeah, we do this, and we're trying to save people. We're trying to protect people, but for some reason they don't want to be saved. We're telling you guys to fucking wake up, and you're hitting the snooze button. We're telling you guys, protect yourselves at all times, better yourselves, but you don't want to fucking get up. You don't want to do it. It's like they want to live on easy mode. So yeah, like that's certain that's real. That's real. Hell, I'm going through that type of shit right now. Is that there's certain people you just can't fucking help. There's certain, just like he said, there's certain situations you just got let them suffer. It's kind of like a dad raising his son. He can't he can't baby him. He can't coddle him. Even the mom, this she can't coddle and baby him to a certain extent. Sometimes you just gotta let the little boy fucking suffer. You gotta let the little boy, drop to the floor and get back up. Rather that's naturally, or you do it yourself. The kids walking around the house, just push the little nigga and just let him get up. He'll be all right. Like, I get the idea of building yourself and your family up to the point to where you don't let the next generation have to deal what you had to deal with. But at the same time, when it comes to life, there's always a balance. If you ain't been through shit's gonna happen to you either early in your life or later in your life. Rather that's you been living comfortably for so long, and you reached the age of 24 to 30 or whatever, and you find yourself stuck in divorce to where the wife's taking everything, or you build yourself to the point to where you can never fucking lose. At the age of 45, you're a multimillionaire. Oh, you just caught a false rape charge, and now they're slandering your name even though nothing happened. Like, there has to be some degree of suffering, especially if you're if you know in your heart that you're righteous, you have to build your belief to the point to where your faith is stronger than the accusations.
Examination. And pain, honestly. The scars from that facility remind me every day why I do this. They keep me honest in a way comfort never could. But you raise something interesting. Maybe the goal isn't to eliminate corruption, but to create systems that assume it will happen.
That's why I work alone mostly. Well, except for Alfred and a few others. Small teams, clear missions, then step back. The moment you start building an organization, you start worrying more about protecting the organization than serving its purpose. How do you avoid becoming what you fight?
Dispute den. Exactly. Though sometimes I wonder if we need periodic resets. Forest fires that clear out the undergrowth so new things can grow. Not destroying every...
It's the circle of life. You know, you know, you're born, you create something, you die, it gets destroyed. There's something else like it but better gets created. That's the harsh truth of life. If anything, I like to believe, I could be wrong, I hope I'm wrong. I like to believe that there's certain elites that understand that, but they don't want to face it. They don't want to believe it to be true. It's like, what? I did all this and it still doesn't fucking matter because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna die. At the end of the day, everything I've created is not gonna fucking matter 520 years into the future. Fuck no. I'm gonna put myself in a position to where I live forever. Put my brain on ice. Freeze my blood cells and clone me. Um put my consciousness into AI. Like, go down the fucking list of all the fucking fictional movies, science fictional movies. Y'all bet y'all better get right with your spirit. Y'all better get right with Almighty God, with the Creator, because again, human beings, if we don't have something to serve, somebody else is gonna make us serve.
everything. But clearing the dead wood that's choking out healthy growth. What do you think? Can systems reform themselves? Or do they always need outside pressure?
Like checks and balances. Multiple power centers that keep each other honest. Democracy isn't perfect, but it's designed around the assumption that people will abuse power if given the chance. Maybe that's why it survives. It plans for human nature instead of fighting it.
And democracy, that's a whole different video, bro. I'm about to democracy is actually a topic I'm about to run through with ChatGPT. So that's a whole different fucking video.
Tension. I like that phrase. You create tension by working within the system and showing it can be better. The dispute den. I create tension by threatening to tear it down if it doesn't improve. Neither of us succeeds alone, but together we create the pressure needed for real change.
Both, probably. Internal reformers and external pressure. Like Martin Luther King said, he created tension so that communities that refused to negotiate would be forced to confront the issue. Maybe that's what we both do in different ways, create productive tension.
A partnership of opposition. You'll keep trying to save the system by fixing it piece by piece.
Not Batman quoting MLK.
A partnership of opposition. You'll keep trying to save the system by fixing it piece by piece. I'll keep threatening to burn it down if it can't be saved. And maybe the dispute den. Between the two pressures, something better will emerge than either of us could create alone.
It's strange I came here thinking we were opposites. But maybe we're more like complementary forces. The threat of revolution keeps reform honest. The promise of reform keeps revolution.
That's actually pretty good too. That could be stretched to more of a global and universal scale. When Batman says, I came in here thinking that, you know, when what we're very, very different, but now that I'm listening to you and now that we're talking, we're much more alike than I think. That's really all it takes, guys. Like, as much as you don't want to believe it, a Russian is just as alike as a fucking American. someone who's from Japan is just as alike as somebody from China. You know, I might catch a bullet in the head for that, but it is what it is. A racist is just as similar as a non-racist. If you actually sat down and understand, motherfuckers, you understand that we're all the same. We just come from different backgrounds. And you understand why certain people act the way they do. Now, of course, take it by case basis, but majority of sit downs, I promise you, you guys are more alike than you fucking think.
From destroying everything worth saving. We need each other, even if we don't always agree.
Agreed. The revolutionary and the reformer, locked in eternal dialogue, neither winning completely, both preventing the other from going too far. It's not the victory either of us imagined, but it might be the balance the world actually needs.
Then let's make a deal. I'll remember that some problems are too big for individual solutions. You remember that some problems are too complex for simple solutions. We'll stay in touch, not as allies exactly, but as necessary tensions in each other's work.
And that's how a lot of people in power view the fucking world. Y'all motherfuckers would be like, "Oh, I totally disagree with what he's saying. Let's be fucking enemies." You really think people in power give a fuck? You really think people in power give a fuck about their enemy? When it comes to, do y'all really think the leader of left-wing country and the leader of right-wing country, y'all really think these motherfuckers hate each other? No, no. It's more so like my brother breaks my fucking toy. Okay, I'm not gonna kill him because he's my brother, but I am gonna take a shit on his bed. And my brother goes sees I took a shit on his bed. He gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna put glass in your food. I'm not gonna kill you because you're my brother. I'm gonna put glass in your food. And I would be like, all right, I'm gonna throw ice water while you sleep. That's literally how it is when it comes to these world leaders. These guys are not fucking enemies to the point like I want to murder you and your whole entire family. No, that's some street level shit. That's some fucking um gang member shit. That's a low level criminal type shit. We can even take this to the fucking streets. Y'all really think uh um the mob leader is enemies with another mob leader from a different street corner or whatever? They gonna fucking throw dukes in a damn fucking dinner meeting at the lobster restaurant? No, they gonna fucking hire a fucking hitman who I can pay $20 to fucking wipe your mans. I'm not gonna wipe you, but I'm gonna wipe your mans. If y'all want to understand politics, if y'all really want to understand how the fucking world works, study gangsters. It's the fucking same, dog. It's the fucking same. If you stop looking at Donald Trump as if he's a fucking president, as if he's this fucking global leader that we have to fucking critique and make it seem like we know better than him when he fucks up, start looking at him as a gangster and ask yourself, why did he make this move? What's so special about this? Why is this issue so important more than this issue? Why is he addressing this more so than he's addressing this? I feel like the greatest uh history project is studying gangsters. Hell, it's to the point now I might think Jesus was a goddamn gangster. Since the Bible said he was running with prostitutes and everything. And that's another thing too. Y'all motherfuckers gotta read between the lines. When I say running with prostitutes, y'all horny motherfuckers think, oh, Jesus was probably sleeping with prostitutes. No, nigga. That's all I got. That's all I got for you guys today. Oh shit. I will most likely not gonna sleep tonight. Y'all take it easy. How do I stop this shit?